Hi everyone, my name's Anne Marie. Welcome to this card making project. In this project we're going to be using the Botanical Antique Decoupage from Anna Griffin, plus one or two other goodies from her as well. So the first thing I'm going to use is my base card. This is a 7x5" card and it's in Ivory. I'll show you how it looks on our cardometer. I think it's the best size to make cards from because it's a good size area without being too big or too small to cover. So you can see it's just smaller than the A5 and bigger than the A6, the ATC being the smallest, so it just gives you an idea of the size for anybody who's not watched before. So as always, I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure I've got a good sharp score along the edge of the card. Now this basically ensures that it's a nice sharp fold, it looks professional and it stands up nicely when you've got it on a mantelpiece. The first thing I'm going to do, as always, is the inside. Everything I do use I'll put down below in the description box, and if there's any links I'll include those as well. For any viewers that like to watch on my new improved super duper blog, all the information will also be on there as well. So it might be handy to add it to your favourites or something, because every time there's a new project I'll add it to the blog. You simply click on the picture of the card you want to see and the description will be below. If you click on any that are before number 250, I have to work on adding the description, so give me a little bit of time. So the first thing we're going to do for the inside is I've cut a piece of Ivory cardstock to fit the inside of our base. I've lightly tapped a black ink pad all the way around the edge of this, just to give it a little bit of definition once you pop it in the card, because sometimes if you just add in a piece of cream or ivory card to the same colour base, you can't see it. So just position that central to our card, like so, and that's our base layer. So the next thing I've done is I've used the fretwork 2 dies from Anna, and I've cut out a die cut in black, and I've not embossed this one, I've kept it so it's nice and flat, and I've cut out a section of it. I'll explain why very soon, because I know it looks a little bit odd. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the larger parts on the back of the die cut, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to those. I'm using a wet glue and I'm using glossy accents this time. It is, I've got to admit, it is my favourite glue. I do use different ones. I've been asked this week about glue. I do use different ones for different things, but I always go back to glossy accents, so that must be why I class it as my favourite. But there's nothing wrong with so many of the other glues that are available. Don't hem yourself in. Right, so I've added just a touch of glue on different areas of our die cut, and I'm going to position that central to our insert, like that. Now, as you can see, this area here looks a little bit odd. I've cut out a shape for a little stamp that I've made using the chalkboard stamps, and that is going to fit perfectly to that area. And I'm just going to peel the back of the tape away, and then we can position it so it sits perfectly there, for the simple reason that when we're doing an insert, we want it flat rather than 3D, because our card won't fold and then we'll have difficulties getting it in the envelope. So we don't want to add too many layers to the inside. So that's our sentiment. And next, from the Botanical Decoupage set, I've got one layer of the lilies, and I've got tape on the back of it, and hopefully this is going to sit just at the side of our sentiment. over the fretwork like that. And that is our insert. You've still got enough room for to and from. Obviously, if you're going to write a message or a long essay to somebody, or, you know, tell them your life story, you might want to write that on a separate letter for this one, because your insert is quite big with its, you know, with its pattern and florals. So, but it's still such a pretty inside, and it's going to look great with the outside. So keep this for somebody that you just want a short message to. So that's our inside, and I'm just going to run my bone folder along the top again, just to ensure that we've still got that nice sharp score. So the first thing for the outside is the base layer. Now this is going to be a black layer. I've got double-sided tape on this. This is wider tape. I do like the wider tape. It makes it a lot easier, but I don't always have it, so I have at the moment. So this is going to be our base layer on our card. So I'm just going to try and get that fairly central, looking through the lens to do that. It's not always easy. Then our next layer is a gorgeous, I would say it's like a muted orangey colour. I've got to admit it's the die cut with a view cardstock layer for this one, purely because I wanted it quite thick. So I've got double-sided tape on the back of this. Now, because I've just said it's the die cuts with a view layer, I haven't got a link, I know that, for this. So, but any cardstock that you've got in like a muted orangey pumpkin colour would look great. Or you could maybe ink something to match. So just position that over the base layer. Then this is where the fun starts. I've got 2 of the black fretwork dies that I've cut out. I've cut these and I've embossed them to be able to get the pattern on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, again the wet glue, to areas on them that the glue will go on, that you won't see from the outside. So there's enough of the areas, and just do that for quickness. And we're going to do the same for both of them. So I'll just position one here to the side of our card, and then we're going to do exactly the same with the second one. Glue on the back in areas that are hidden, like that. Now I didn't put adhesive on them before we started because I wanted you to see how I stick them down, because I know a lot of people are frightened to use the more intricate die cuts and they don't really know what to do with the glue and where to put it. So the second one can go on the card like that. Just hold it down for a minute or two so that it'll just grab hold of the cardstock. There we go. So next what I've got is I've got some of the decoupage from the actual Botanical Antique Decoupage, and it's the lilies. I've built it up into 3 layers with the base layer and then the smaller size and then the smallest size using 3D foam. And on the back of this I've got double-sided tape, and I'll just peel the back of this away. So I'm just going to position this across my card like that, and then I've also got another piece that I've built up that's slightly smaller, and I'm going to position that across the bottom of the card like that. I've got a sentiment from the vellum stickers from the Artfully Said collection. Sorry, I was just thinking of it. Is it the right collection? Yes, it's the Artfully Said. If it isn't, I'll put the right one below. And I've put that on 3D foam, and I'm just going to position that at the side of the florals like that. So that'll help stick everything down if you've got anything popping off. Then, again from the decoupage collection, I've got a gorgeous 3D butterfly. Now to make this, what I've done is I've taken 2 of the actual layers of the butterfly, 1 from each sheet, and then I've put them together and using 3D foam underneath each side of the wings, and then I've used flat glue through the centre, and that makes the butterfly look as though it's actually flying. And on the back I've got the double-sided tape. So I'm just going to pop the butterfly. Where should we put the butterfly? If we put the butterfly over here, and we're just going to pop the sentiment under that flower like that. There we go. That looks better. And I'm going to finish it off with a 15mm double-faced black satin bow. And this is a nice neat bow, and we're just going to add the bow to the top of our sentiment like that. And that is our card finished. So you can see this inside looks gorgeous to go with the outside. It still stands up. It's not too thick that it won't go in an envelope. And as I always say, it'll look pretty on anybody's mantelpiece or windowsill. So I know I'd love something like that. I think the colours on that are just gorgeous. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this and it's given you a bit of an idea, a bit of inspiration, something a little bit different. If you have, please give me the thumbs up. If you've got anything to say, please feel free. And it just remains for me to say thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.